Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your monthly angel card reading for August 2018. For this month's monthly reading, we'll be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha for the main message for everyone. And your special message card this month, based on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Archangel Divination deck by Doreen Virtue. So there's a lot to talk about as far as the energies of the month of August, the astrology highlights of the month of August, and then the messages from our angels and guides. So let's start out by showing you your stones of choice so you can decide what special message card or stone should be yours. So the first stone of choice here is Labradorite. Now, Labradorite, you can see it's a dark gray stone, but it's got some hints of the reflection of the color blue in there. I don't know if you can see it in this light. So depending on how you kind of turn it and reflect it with the light, it's got that iridescent kind of blue color. Now, this stone is a stone of extraterrestrial origin. So it's going to help you to get in touch with our brothers and sisters from the other galaxy realms, you know, from the Pleiadians to the Sirians, the Lyrians, etc. So that higher vibrational information, the guidance, the messages from our brothers and sisters of the light can kind of be channeled down or downloaded down through our crown chakra and then given focus, and that's what that gray color is. It's got a groundedness and a focus to it, an organization to it. So it kind of brings it down, channels it down into a more focused energy as far as that higher realm information is concerned. This also helps you, by the way, if you are feeling a lot of nervous energy, it will help to give you a little bit of groundedness. The second stone of choice is this beautiful Selenite. Now, Selenite is an opaque stone. It's milky white. You can see my fingers kind of behind it, and that's how opaque it is. You can see through it. This helps to channel information down through the crown chakra as well, but this comes from the angelic realm, so the higher dimensional realm where our angels and even perhaps some of the ascended masters are from. This has got an ability to get you in touch with past lives as well as future lives as well, and it's got that kind of universal love, you know, kind of energy to it because of that beautiful kind of white energy there. And then your last stone of choice for your special message card is this beautiful and quite large clear crystal quartz. But it's not just a clear crystal quartz. You'll notice it has a flat top to it. Now, when we think of crystal quartz points, we usually think of it having a point to it. This one having a flat top means it's a feminine quartz crystal. Okay, and so the feminine quartz crystal has that divine feminine kind of energy to it. And not only is it a feminine quartz crystal, but it's a record keeper crystal. You probably can't see, maybe you can, that there's some ridges here along the side. And there's ridges all around the crystal here. And that's the recording of the records from our ancient ancestors. So, you know, this could be from the Atlantean times, the Lemurian times, the Egyptian times, that ancient information and knowledge that is encoded in this feminine record keeper crystal. So this is going to help to channel down information from our ancestors of the light. So they're all definitely crystals that can bring forth information, guidance, direction for us in this month of August, just perhaps in a little bit different way. So go with your intuition and go what you're drawn to as far as this stone of choice this month. So again, you have the Labradorite, the Selenite, or the feminine record keeper quartz crystal. So let's talk a little bit about the energy of the month of August from a numerology standpoint. If we add the number of this particular year, now we're in the year 2018, but if we add those numbers up, we get the number 11. So we are in a universal 11 year. And if we add the 1 plus the 1 together, we get a 2. And this is how we figure out our month too, the month vibration universally. And it's similar to figuring out your personal year and personal month vibration too, but there's a little bit of a twist to that. But we're in a master number 11 year, and if we take that number 11 from 2018 and we add it to the month of August, which is the 8th month, we get the number 19. Now, the number 19 is a karmic number, and we're going to discuss that briefly here in just a moment. But if we want to take the reduced digit of the number 19, we want to add the 1 plus the 9, and we get a 10. And then we want to add the 1 plus the 0 of the 10, and then we get the number 1. And that gives us the single digit vibration for the month of August. So when we look at that single digit vibration for the month of August, the number 1, that's the first number. It's the number of the individual. It's the number of new beginnings. It is the number 2 of confidence, courage, forging a new path, a new trail. It's the number of risk-taking or being an entrepreneur. So we're in a month, basically, of new beginnings and planting new seeds. And part of that, and we're going to get to this when we get to the astrology part, is because we're in eclipse season right now. So we had a new moon solar eclipse in the beginning of July, and then on July 27th, we had a full moon lunar eclipse. And I'm sure some of you watching this video pretty early on have just experienced that full moon lunar eclipse. Now we're going to have one more new moon solar eclipse on August 11th, this month that we're speaking of. And new moons are about new beginnings, and the eclipses intensify the energies. So here when we're talking about the numerology of the month of August, that number 1 is quite fitting as far as, again, this idea of new starts, new opportunities, perhaps new places, new people, new things, new experiences. And, it's very prominent for us this month. Now, if we want to look at the number 19, which is what 2018 plus the month of August really adds up to, that, as I mentioned, is a karmic number. And so there's a little bit of a karmic theme going on for everyone this month as far as learning how to balance your sense of self-identity, self-confidence, self-sufficiency, doing things for yourself or on your own, kind of creating your own path, so to speak, or recognizing your own truth. We're balancing that with that 9 energy of the group energy, the humanitarian energy, the energy of support from other people, guidance from other people. So this is where the balance comes in. It's sort of like self versus everyone else, and how to balance those two things. How to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet and make things happen for yourself, while at the same time learning to ask for help from others when needed, or joining with group collective consciousness energies for a common goal, or to work together as a team towards something. So again, we're learning to balance those energies. This is also about balancing the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy. The number 1 is a very masculine number. The number 9 is a very feminine number. So we're learning to balance that within our life and within ourselves as well. And then we want to look at the 19th Major Arcana, just to kind of give us an idea of the tarot card indication for the month of August. And a lot of you know that the 19th Major Arcana is the Sun card, and I did pull the Sun card out of the Syrian Starseed Tarot. In this particular deck, it's called Solar Deity. It's a beautiful card, and you can see very close up we have the picture of the sun, very brilliant, kind of yellows and orange and maybe a hint of red in there. So a lot of our lower chakra energies, but those are vibrant energies. Those are energies that are full of passion and purpose and confidence. And here in the center of the solar deity, we have a Pegasus rising. Pegasus is a horse with wings. Sometimes it's shown as a unicorn with wings. And that Pegasus is pointing upwards. It's again rising, sort of like the phoenix energy. Okay, so this is like death and rebirth energy, even though this particular card, the sun, isn't necessarily interpreted like that. With this imagery, it makes me think of the phoenix rising from the ashes. If we got too near the sun, we would burn up. And then here we have the Pegasus rising and flying forward, much more stronger, much more confident than it was before. So what is the Sun card typically about? The Sun card is typically about success, recognition for who we are out in the world, our own self-identity, and shining our light. You know, that's what the sun is about. And when we think about our sun sign in astrology, the sun sign that we are is the lens through how we shine our light, which again equals our personality. So that's a little bit about the sun. It's a card of success, but again, with this particular imagery, and because of the eclipses that we're going through, it has that feeling for me of rising from the ashes anew and getting ready to soar, getting ready to maybe take a risk, or again, come into your sense of self-confidence as you move forward. So let's go ahead and talk about the astrological highlights for the month. So, and I'm only going to hit the highlights, okay? In the weekly readings, I can get a little bit more detailed, but because of timing purposes for this particular video, we want to make sure and just hit the highlights. And there's actually a lot going on this month of August. Again, I just want to reiterate that on July 27th, we had a full moon lunar eclipse that was at 4 degrees of Aquarius. It was connecting with Mars, the warrior planet, the planet of energy and action in the sign of Aquarius, and also was connecting to the south node, which is a karmic point that deals with our past lives, past karmic patterns. That's also at 5 degrees of Aquarius during that full moon lunar eclipse. So there was a lot of activation energies of something going on here. Now, full moons are about releasing and letting go. So now that we're just a couple of days past that full moon lunar eclipse, we're in this cycle now of releasing, purging, letting go, and transmuting old past situations, old past energies, maybe past relationships, past karmic patterns that are no longer in our highest and best interest. Now, the full moon phase is always about releasing and letting go, as the new moon phase is always about new beginnings. However, because of the eclipse energies, it's intensified much more greatly, and it lasts a lot longer, meaning that our next new moon solar eclipse is on August 11th, but these eclipse energies are going to take us weeks into the future, maybe some months, maybe towards the end of the year or the next set of eclipses, before everything is said and done, so to speak. So know that we're in this death and rebirth phase, this planting of new seeds and new beginnings, along with releasing and letting go of what no longer serves our best and highest interest. So now we get to August. We start out on August 1st with Mars, which I just mentioned is the planet of energy and action. It's in Aquarius and it's retrograde. So Mars retrograde in Aquarius is going to be challenging Uranus on the 1st. Uranus is in Taurus. Now, Uranus is the planet of surprises, expecting the unexpected, the strange and unusual. It's like a lightning bolt of energy. So things with Uranus happen very quick, very sudden, very out of the blue, very fast. It's like, again, that's why they say it's surprises, because oftentimes we don't see the effects of Uranus coming. So not only do we have that Uranus effect, but Mars being an activator planet, a planet of energy and action and forward movement. It's in the sign of Aquarius, which is the sign that Uranus normally rules. So we have that Aquarian energy with Mars too, activating that Uranus energy. So really look for changes and redirections to occur on or around the 1st, even in the end of July, right after that full moon lunar eclipse. We may see some sudden redirections, some surprising developments, some things taking place. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of it might have to do with finances and money, because Uranus is in Taurus, which is the money sign. And then on the 6th of August, we have Venus, the planet that rules love and relationships, as well as money and finances, and it's moving into one of her home signs of Libra. Now, Libra is the sign of relationships and partnerships. So until September 9th, which is the time period that Venus will be in Libra, from August 6th through September 9th, the whole idea of relationships and partnerships and equality and balance and compromise and trying to stay in a state of harmony, that's all going to be highlighted during that time period. And then on the 7th, the very next day after after Venus goes into Libra, we have Uranus turning to retrograde motion at 2 degrees of Taurus. Now remember, on the 1st of August, we had Mars retrograde setting off Uranus with a challenging square, which is bringing, again, sudden redirections. Now, this is kind of intensified because Uranus was slowing down, and getting ready to turn retrograde as of the 7th of August. So it even makes things even more intense with that Mars retrograde squaring Uranus on the 1st of the month. But as Uranus changes directions on the 7th, I would just be aware that there might be some very unusual things going on, some strange occurrences, some strange expressions maybe from other people as far as their energy dynamic. This could be higher dimensional energies flooding the planet or being channeled through our own psyche or consciousness, as Uranus rules that higher dimensional energy. It rules the 5th dimensional energy. So very wonderful high vibrating energy, channeled information, messages from our angels and guides. Be a great time on and around the 7th to do meditation work or automatic writing, getting messages for yourself, maybe even doing some readings for yourself or getting a reading, because the energies are going to be very high around that time to bring things through. Just remember, I want to say too, they're saying perhaps some strange and unusual weather will occur too, because Uranus does rule lightning and lightning storms. So there could be some unusual weather across the country, across the world, regarding that change of a direction for Uranus. And then we're going to go ahead and skip to the 11th of August with the new moon solar eclipse happening at 18 degrees of Leo. Now again, this is the second new moon solar eclipse, with the first one having been the first half of July. So because we had that first one the first half of July, it was in the sign of Cancer, which is a very emotional sign, so we were having a new beginning on the emotional level, okay, and we were going through a lot of emotional stuff in and around that time period. Then we had our full moon lunar eclipse, so we're in a time now of releasing, letting go, and endings. And Aquarius, which is where that full moon lunar eclipse was, does rule the humanitarian or the humanitarian energy or group consciousness energy, working together with others for a common goal. It does rule scientific breakthroughs or scientific energies like computers and high-tech kinds of gadgets and things of that nature. Aquarius rules electricity. Aquarius rules astrology. Again, Aquarius rules kind of that lightning storm kind of energy, so to speak. So now when we get to this second new moon solar eclipse, and the last of the eclipses until some months from now when we start going through some eclipses again, this is now a true new beginning. We went through the beginning of the emotional realm, we went through the releasing and letting go, and now we're coming into this new beginning with our creative self-expression, because it's in the sign of Leo, and that's what Leo rules. Leo rules how we shine our light. It rules our confidence. It rules our leadership skills and all forms of creative self-expression. Leo also rules children, so there might be something here to do with children or your inner child as well with this new moon solar eclipse. But it is definitely a new beginning about shining our light. Now, Leo is a fire sign. Remember, the card for the month of August was the sun. And Leo naturally rules the sun in the zodiac. So people that are Leo, you're ruled by the sun. And that's exactly the card or the energy that's ruling this month of August. So it's very, very prominent for us. Now that new moon solar eclipse is connecting with Mercury, which is still in retrograde motion in the sign of Leo. It's challenging Jupiter, which rules our belief systems. And as Jupiter is in Scorpio, it's our belief systems about our sense of power. And then the new moon solar eclipse is also connecting by what we call a quincunx aspect to Neptune and Pluto. Neptune rules the spiritual realm, Pluto rules transformation, death and rebirth, power or our sense of power as well. So this is a pretty active new moon solar eclipse as it's connecting to all of these different planets. On the 12th, Mars is retrograding back into Capricorn for a little bit here. Now remember, Mars in the earlier part of the month was retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. Now it's moving back into Capricorn on the 12th, and I will skip ahead for a minute and tell you that Mars goes all the way back to 28 degrees of Capricorn before it turns direct on August 27th. So near the end of this month, Mars will turn back to its forward direct motion, so that things, as Mars rules our energy and action and forward movement, can start moving forward. While Mars was retrograde, it was, I don't want to say impeding us from moving forward, but it was kind of stalling us a little bit. It was slowing us down a little bit. So, you know, when Mars went retrograde, you know, back some weeks ago, you may have felt like things were slowing down or stalling a little bit. It wasn't moving forward in a timely manner the way you would like. And especially, you know, with Mercury having gone retrograde the second half of July, things really might have started to feel like they were slowing down and not unfolding in a timely manner. But now again, when Mars goes direct at 28 degrees Capricorn on the 27th of August, it might take a few days, maybe even a couple of weeks for it to start moving quickly again, but things will start to move forward and unfold better for us all. All right, so let's go back to the 12th where Mars went retrograding back into Capricorn. On the 19th, Mercury goes direct, so that is one good thing. Okay, so now we have Mercury, the planet of thoughts, ideas, communications, turning back to direct motion at 11 degrees of Leo on the 19th. So ideas can start to flow better, communications can start to be more clear at that time. On the 23rd, the Sun moves into Virgo, as it does this time of year, every year, around that time, you know, August 23rd or so. So now the focus is more on work, service to others, you know, the efforts that we're doing, using discernment, you know, in the mental realm. That's kind of what Virgo rules here for the next month until about September 22nd, 23rd, when it will then move into Libra. The next thing we want to look at is on the 26th of August, and we have the full moon for the month. Now, this is not an eclipse energy, because we already went through the 3 eclipses by now, but it is a full moon at 3 degrees of Pisces. So, you know, Pisces is a very spiritual sign. It's a sign that deals with healing and our psychic senses and unconditional love and compassion and all things spiritual, all things of the spiritual realm. So this is going to be a not very grounded or focused full moon, but it is going to heighten our intuitive senses. It's going to heighten our ability to have unconditional love or compassion for other people. It's going to heighten our healing abilities. You know, what it's not going to heighten is our sense of organization or focus. But again, after the full moon on the 26th, we're going to be in that cycle of, you know, releasing and letting it go again. So this is releasing and letting go on a spiritual level, maybe spiritually karmic past life patterns that have been repeated in this life. You know, that's the kind of thing that we're going to be releasing and letting go during that cycle. Again, the solar eclipses, the lunar eclipse, still in effect for that death and rebirth, new beginnings and endings, still happening for the next few weeks. And then the last thing for the month was, as I said, Mars turning back to direct motion at 28 degrees of Capricorn on the 27th. One thing that I could mention is that the sign of Capricorn does rule our career path. It rules our goals, our ambitions, you know, our destiny out in the world, who we are out in the world, being recognized for what we're putting out to the world. So now that Mars is going direct there, before it moves back into Aquarius, you're going to see more movement as far as your life path, your destiny path. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the cards, which I already meditated and chosen from the Syrian Starseed Tarot. So the first card, let's turn that over. Okay, we have Major Arcana number 14, and this is alchemy in this particular deck. And you know, think about the word alchemy, and what does that mean? The word alchemy means that we're taking a substance, you know, in ancient times they would take lead and alchemize it, which means turning it into gold, turning a substance from lead to gold. So here we're in this state of alchemy in this month of August. And again, this is very pertinent to the eclipse energies. We're taking an energy within our lives or within our consciousness, and we're changing it in some way. We're transforming it, maybe, is a good way to say it. We're transforming it from one state of beingness or existence to another. It's, you know, like combining water and fire, which normally you wouldn't think combine very well. But if you combine water and fire, it creates steam. So we're creating something new by taking two substances or varying energies or situations or circumstances within our lives, and as we combine these energies, we're transforming it into something new. So think about it in terms of the eclipse energy again. We're going through new beginnings and endings and releasing and letting go and planting new seeds all at the same time. We're taking things in our lives and we're transforming it into something new, okay? And that's the process of alchemy. And you can see here that I don't know if this is a planet or a ball of a substance of some sort of tangible energy, but the fire is sort of either transmuting it or transforming it into something different. The second card, let's turn that over. Wow, we have another Major Arcana. Whenever we have lots of Major Arcana, it's a very important energy for our soul growth and evolution. So this month is very important to that process. This is the Justice card. In this deck, it's called Divine Justice, Major Arcana number 11. And the 11 is a master number, which vibrates to the light worker, vibrates to leadership, taking charge, working with and for others. In this case, the Divine Justice, we have this beautiful lady, she's blindfolded. So I feel like, the message from our angels and guides is saying we're not going to see all the new beginnings or what that entails yet. We're kind of blinded by what that's all about, but she's standing very confidently and self-assuredly. She has no fear. She's holding the scales of justice. And that's often what the Justice card shows, is someone holding the scales of justice. So this is about karmic rebalancing to me. So again, old karmic patterns falling away, new things being new energies or new karma or dharma being brought in or created. So it's like the karmic scales of karmic scales are being rebalanced, basically. And again, we might not see what that means yet, or we might not see what the new beginnings are yet, or how our life and ourselves are changing quite yet. But you can stand confidently and self-assuredly and know that we're moving in the right direction, and that we're being divinely protected and guided, especially because so far we have 2 Major Arcana cards here. So this is definitely something that's meant to be, karmically and spiritually meant to be, as we're being redirected on our paths. Then the last card for the month, wow, so Major Arcana 0, this deck is called the Starseed, the traditional tarot it's called the Fool, okay? To me, this is about a new beginning, but a new beginning that hasn't quite started or manifested yet, as the Starseed has not quite fallen to the earth. It hasn't hit the earth yet. It's still in that stage of coming down from the heavens. And so there's a new beginning that's approaching for us, but it's not quite manifest or grounded yet in physical reality. But this is amazing that we have 3 Major Arcana, very important month as we move through the eclipse season. I'm drawn to this little kind of crystal, almost like a crystal flower here on the earth. So there's something very wonderful that's taking shape. There's blessings that are coming that are going to be manifested in your reality, something very beautiful and special. Now let's go ahead before we run out of time here in the video and take a look at what your special message card is based on your stone of choice. So I'm going to give the deck here a little bit of a shuffle. I know you probably can't see that, so now I'm going to hold it here in front of the camera, and I'm not going to look at the bottom cards because that will distract me, but I'm going to shuffle. And for those of you that chose the Labradorite, this one's sticking up, so I'm going to pull that one. Courage with Archangel Ariel, love it. Very pertinent message with what we've been talking about. Be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. Call on Archangel Ariel. Ask for a sense of confidence, self-assuredness. Again, that Leo eclipse energy is all about leadership, taking charge, making things happen, being creative and expressing yourself. This is a very strong divine feminine card here as far as your message is concerned. So know that you're on the right path. Know that, with your own inner strength, you'll be moving forward in the appropriate direction for you. And I know these are short definitions, but we have to go here before we run out of time. So the card of choice for the Selenite people, claircognizance with Archangel Uriel. Pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. Archangel Ariel, very much that energy of coming down through the crown chakra, with divine messages, downloads of information, guidance. Listen to what, it's not like listening to what you hear, because claircognizance is just knowing something. This is something that's being really just channeled through you. Call upon Archangel Uriel, because he helps and rules that claircognizance ability. And he also is the archangel that gives you divine inspiration to move forward on your path. Then for those of you that chose the feminine record keeper crystal, this one right here, prioritize with Archangel Metatron. And it says, focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. So time to get moving is the message that I feel comes through this. Archangel Metatron is an archangel that helps you connect with your Akashic records. He was one of the 2 archangels that had an earthly existence in lifetime, so he knows what it's like as far as earthly timing and moving through the challenges that we're here moving through. Ask him to assist you in connecting to your own personal Akashic records, and ask him to help you to prioritize and organize and move forward in a state of motivation to get things done this month and in the weeks ahead. So I hope you've liked this monthly angel card reading. I send you all lots of love and light and many, many angel blessings.